Are there any boycott issues for believers of Christ? This is a very important issue for believers and their way of life, I believe. Our stewardship of what monies and all that God has given us. I do not hate any homosexuals or transvestites or transsexuals as fellow human beings. I hate sin in general, whether it be fornication, adultery, homosexuality, lying, stealing, cheating, etc., etc. It destroys souls. It causes addictions. And it's all about choice. All of it is. All sin is. And I believe all people have a choice to sin or not. And God has written what sin is and what they all are, verbatim. And homosexuality is an abomination and a sin. God says in the Bible for believers to prove all things, hold fast to that which is good, and abstain from all appearance of evil. And it's not an easy thing to do. But yes, it says appearance, which means it doesn't even have to be an evil. But if it appears to be leaning that direction, we are to abstain from it because we're easily addicted and caught up in things. To abstain means to avoid, shun, and remove. It's having nothing to do with individually or collectively as a body or a church. There's a site that I use that lists all the companies. I found it in '99, and it's a human rights campaign. It's a gay and lesbian transsexual site that they've wonderfully researched all the businesses in the United States, or most of them, and all the major ones for sure. And they've compiled a list to boycott of those that won't abide by their 10 criteria list that they score by. They give a score of 100 to those who fully contribute and support their demands, and they get a score of 0 to those who do nothing, and a minus 25 to any of those who actually make a public comment that homosexuality or any sexual perversion is a sin. So I'll give that address here at the end. You can read it on your own and make your own decisions about that. They also give millions of dollars to support the agendas. They fund lawsuits in our courts and schools to remove our country's moral laws and prayers, crosses, etc., and pervert the foundation of the family as one man, one woman, raising children in a natural and giving birth to them as a couple, the way God planned it. Also, it affects the teachings and curriculums in our schools as well, which has been tainted severely by the homosexual agenda. All these companies listed pay full benefits to homosexuals as if they were married and much more. They call this sinful and perverse relationship domestic partners. God calls it an abomination and sin, as I stated before. And now, this week, includes Walmart, Amazon.com, Craigslist, eBay, Progressive Insurance, AT&T, MCI, Sprint, Verizon, Disney, ABC, McDonald's, Procter & Gamble, who owns Gillette, that makes them the largest home product retailer in the United States with over 200 plus products in their company. Campbell's Food. They fired Reggie White, a famous football player, from their soup commercials that actually started the big-time soup commercials for Campbell, because he said God said it is a sin and an abomination to commit the act of homosexuality, and that adultery and fornication are all sin as well. We have not bought a Campbell's product since, and that was in 1996. Levi Strauss, and actually McDonald's was one of the first ones. They pulled all funding from the Boy Scouts for not allowing homosexual troop leaders. This was 18 years ago, and we have not bought a piece of Levi clothing since. Then there's UPS, FedEx, Lipton, IBM, United Way. They also pulled their Boy Scout fundings from this year. And in fact, because they wouldn't accept homosexual scout leaders, into the Boy Scouts. And unfortunately, the Boy Scouts gave in this year. The Girl Scouts also gave in the year prior from the same pressure from the same companies and many more. We have Heinz, Hormel, Hershey's, Lowry's, Nabisco, Wishbone, Sara Lee, Xerox, MCI, Sprint. All the automakers in the year 2000 gave in. All the major airlines gave in, and many more major companies. In fact, United Airlines even paid for all the attorneys' airfares that wanted to go and fight in the courts to legalize homosexual marriages just last year in I don't remember which state, so I won't say for sure, but it's documented. It was even on national television. Also, companies that have satanic or ungodly products or commercials like the Twilight Sagas and Harry Potter products and Nike and Helen Curtis and Abercrombie and Goosebump products and Pokemon products, Calvin Klein, Capital One, Victoria's Secret, Schwab, Hardee's and Carl Jr.'s, Gatorade, Coke, Pepsi. Pepsi's a big violator and has 160 products and several restaurants who just donated $1 million to defend the homosexuality in the courts. Pepsi owns Frito-Lay, Quaker products, Gatorade, Tropicana. They also own Yum Brands, which is KFC chicken, A&W, root beer, All American Food Restaurants, Long John Silver's, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and we have not ate at any of them since they bought them. We just go someplace else or cook at home. Also, Kraft Foods own one of the largest cigarette companies called Philip Morris and is a full homosexual agenda supporter as well. Nike as well is too, but they also have some other things. I don't know if you knew it or not, but the word stands for Greek goddess of victory, Nike does, and fully supports the homosexual agenda. True believers in Christ must be aware of how and where they spend the money God has given them. Read all our labels. That's one way we do it, and make sure we're only accountable for what we know. And there's so many products for each company listed above, so it requires some effort to stay sharp. We truly have been blessed in keeping the monies we have been given from knowingly supporting anything that is against God. Like I say, it's just not the homosexual agenda and things. It's everything. And his family structure, anything that's against that, he created that structure for all of us, all of mankind. Even the homosexuals wouldn't be here without a mother and a father. Here are a few companies that do not support the homosexual agenda, and that would be Lowe's, ExxonMobil, Chick-fil-A, Merger, Reebok, Sonics, Big Lots, and many smaller companies. Cracker Barrel and Burger King are at a score of 55, which is the maximum that I allow for me on the scores. And the reason I say that is because once they go over that, then they're paying for sex change operations for transsexuals. They also help in adoptions, funding and such is one of the criteria as well. And so, and there's a couple others, full medical benefits as well as if they're married. But once they go over a score of 55 for me, then we no longer support it in any way, materially or financially. You all have your choices to make in life, and for the record, these are serious issues on evil topics, even though they may seem small. In fact, I told this to a deacon the other day, just what I've read to you here, and he said, Miles, we live in a fallen world, and we walk in that world, and our feet are very dirty. And I asked him, I said, well, that may be true, but so the reasoning was that a little more wouldn't hurt. But I asked him, well, if you're walking in mud and dirt and this little particles cling on here and cling on there, it's pretty soon muddy boots that are caked with mud are almost worthless, and you can't even walk in them. In fact, most of the time you have to take them off and scrape it off with a stick or something, but they do add up, and they cause bondage and inhibiting of understanding of truth as well. So we all have our own choices. Choose wisely whom you will serve and support financially with knowledge. The HRC is, like I said, LGBT website since 1999, and it is http //2020_report_rev7 If you just go to the HRC organization website and click on their annual report, they give one every year. You'll get a full list of companies, alphabetical, and then they also list them in different sections. Restaurants in one, attorneys in another, and airlines in another, computers in another. Anyways, I just felt the need to make this and get it out to as many people as I could. Times are changing and something's coming down the pike. So stand by and may you walk close to the Lord and may His truth set you free.